Do you want to win a copy of Dungeon Alchemist, an adventure from Ghostfire Gaming, and a year of epic tier from Improved Initiative? Find out how later in the video. Alright, on with the show. Your fantasy world needs trees. Describing a fantastical type of tree is an excellent detail to add into your world. Adding a variety of details to your world can make it feel rich and alive. But you don't need to get bogged down in describing every detail, just a select few. CG artists do this all the time. Welcome to the table. I'm Kelly, and I'm going to show you my details. Or how I do details, the words I use. When CG artists build a scene, they figure out the general layout and what's important. Then they model and texture the objects that will be the focus of the scene in extreme detail. As they model things that get further away from the camera, they model them with less and less detail to save time and computing power. They could go in and model each background tree with the same detail as the one in the foreground, but that would take a long time and it wouldn't make the scene feel any more detailed. The trees in the background can be low detail because they'll be out of focus blobs, but our brain assumes that each tree in the background has as much detail as the one we are being shown in the foreground. The same goes for your TTRPG descriptions. By describing one or two micro details, your players get the feeling that everything in the world has that level of detail. If your players are walking through the forest, you could describe it as a forest with tall evergreen trees, and most people could picture that in their minds. Actually, let's go on a little field trip. I get a lot of my D&D inspiration walking in the forest. Not even like forest related stuff, it just feels like an adventure. This is the visualization of the description. You walk through the forest. Most people can picture a forest in their minds, but if you zoom in to just a few details, you can make the forest come alive. As you walk through the forest, you see a water droplet hanging on the end of a leaf, catching the sunlight. Moss clings to the side of a tree, slowly creeping up. This is an old forest. You can make these micro descriptions even more powerful if you use a variety of senses. I have a sticky note on the back of my DM screen that just lists out the 5 senses, and when I describe something, I try to pick 2 other senses besides just sight. The dirt feels soft under your feet, and you hear the squelch of mud under the boots of your companions. The earthy smell of a heavy rain still sits in the air. You might say, all well and good, you're just describing the real world. I want to live in a fantasy world. Let's head back to the table. But first, I want to tell you about the giveaway. To celebrate hitting 10,000 subscribers, I've put together a little digital DM prize pack of things that I genuinely use and love. Dungeon Alchemist is generously providing a copy of their map-making software, which I went over in my map-making video. I've been having so much fun making maps with it, and I hope you will too. Ghostfire Gaming is kindly providing a copy of their Pirates of the Aetherial Expanse adventure, which is the inspiration for their upcoming setting guide, Aetherial Expanse. This pirate adventure among the stars contains a ton of cool mechanics and a great story. And last, but certainly not least, Evan Bailey, the developer of Improved Initiative, is generously providing 1 year of epic tier Patreon access, which allows you to sync data across devices, import monsters from D&D Beyond, and create a custom player view. Now this part is very important because I don't want anyone getting scammed. I'm using a service called Gleam to run the giveaway. Once you go to the link in the description, you'll need to enter your name and email. At the end of the giveaway, one winner will be randomly drawn and I will contact that winner by email. My email is powerwordcontact@gmail.com. I will not message you on Telegram, notify you in a YouTube comment, or email from a different email address. So, with all that out of the way, head to the link down in the description to enter. The giveaway will be live from now until October 18th. Alright, back to the table. I've found that it can be super easy to make things feel foreign and fantastical by just making them the opposite. You can apply this to almost anything, and it allows you to come up with cool fantasy details on the fly so you don't overwhelm yourself with a mountain of prep. Going back to trees mostly grow up, but maybe there's a type of tree in your world that only grows down. Perhaps there's some sort of magical mineral and these trees synthesize its aura. Their roots grow down through cracks and crevices until they sprout through the ceiling of a cave containing this mineral and explode with thick foliage. So when you walk through these caverns, leaves fall around you and rustle in the light wind of the cave. Or moss. Moss is delicate and grows slowly in undisturbed areas. But perhaps there's a type of moss in your world that only grows when agitated. It carpets the most well-trodden paths. The life cycle is short and it grows quickly, so it could be used to track someone who strayed from the main path, but it will fade quickly. Or a flower that only grows in the desert. It wilts if any water touches it. Once you start thinking in terms of micro details, it opens up a whole world of descriptions, not just plants. My DM often describes the little details of someone's makeup. She'll describe an NPC's eyeshadow, or their winged eyeliner, or a lipstick color. This type of description just never occurred to me because I don't wear makeup. But after hearing a character described with the addition of a micro detail like the color of their eyeshadow, they feel so much more real. The types of micro details that you can describe are endless. From plants and insects and animals, to the way a particular piece of hair curls or falls across someone's face, the wrinkles and tears in their clothes, how shiny and dull a particular coin is, or the stamp on a coin. It goes on, and you can apply the opposite rule to any of these things to make them more fantastical. A coin that gets shinier over time, a type of fabric that regenerates in the sun, a type of rock that doesn't reflect sound so it makes a cave without echoes. But what you describe is just as important as how you describe it. The energy, tone, and cadence of your description can sometimes be just as important as the content. If there's an intense scene and your players are falling, your description should match that intensity. The wind rushes around you, deafening, your heart is in your throat, you try to maneuver your body but you can't stop the rotation. The top of your shirt is slapping into your neck, drawing your focus away, but you regain your focus and you get the spell off. Featherfall. You slow. If you're trying to build suspense, then the energy of your description should also match that. The hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. A chill creeps slowly up your spine. The feeling that someone is watching you. You turn. Nothing. The damp smell is almost as suffocating as the darkness. You take another step. What was that? Just the echo of your own footfall. A bead of sweat pools on your eyebrow and drips into your eye. Stinging, you blink it away. So challenge yourself. Next time you describe a scene, zoom into one or two micro details, use all of the senses, make sure your energy matches your description, and add some cool trees. It'll make your world feel that much more alive. Now, speaking of getting bogged down in overly detailed descriptions or anything else that's slowing your sessions down to a crawl, you can check out this video here for some tips on session and story pacing to make sure everything is moving along at the right pace and your players aren't getting bored. I appreciate you.